Welcome back to the potty. Roll the intro.
Yeah, they call me a savage. I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.
What's up, bro?
How's it, brother?
Good session before we did.
Yeah, bit Friday. You were sitting down at the cafe like, bro, I'm bloody buggered.
Too much bench.
Yeah, I've been sick the last week, so that session there I didn't feel good at all, to be honest. So
It takes like 1 or 2 to get back after you've been sick, eh?
yeah, I just felt super drained. Even after that first set, I looked at you. I was like, bro, I'm not in it today.
But you have to get through
Yeah,
it.
you
eh?
have
Like,
to.
There's no other way around it, and you have to know that your weights are going to be like humbling.
Yes, very humbling. And that's why, like, even during the session, being able to adapt, I was just like, I'm not going to do the same weights as you. I'm just going to scale it back and get the session done.
People take too much time off when they're sick usually, eh? Get back into it straight
Yeah,
away.
yeah. Why not? You don't have to go hard. You can just sort of, I wouldn't say go through the motions, but you can still have the intention of getting something out of session. So you just don't have to go as hard as you normally would.
Some people have that thing where they're sick and they just take 2 weeks off.
Stop.
And then all their things are out of whack and blah, blah, blah.
The old Gandalf saying, "You shall not pass."
Yeah, I sort of train when I'm sick.
Yeah.
I just like to have that mental battle with it that I'm still all right and I seem to come out the other side. I don't train super hard, but I'll go for a walk and maybe do some push-ups and
Yeah.
just to be like,
Yeah.
I'll still get rattled way more than usual, but
At least you're still getting stuff done, bro.
yeah.
But I've always known that you're that sort of person anyway. Like if you're sick, even if there's something going on in your life, I've always known you've been pretty strict on your own self-discipline, which is always cool.
I just don't like that sad sack talking going on in your brain. Oh,
You can hear it going on and on, bro. That
I need to
happens.
attack it somehow.
That happens to me all the time. You used to always win that fella too. Old self-sabotage.
Hard. So we're going to go into a few things about like that self-mastery type thing. The things in your control.
Sort of on the back of last week's session, eh, bro? Or the last week's
we
episode.
sort of done our lessons and that was good how we sort of just dialed in.
Yeah.
And then just whatever's in your control and
Yeah.
control. So I don't know. I feel like some people, I don't know, just go down the wrong path of
Yeah.
life is tough
Yeah.
and they just got a whole list of excuses
Yeah.
and they're not taking action towards what's actually in their
Yeah.
control. Like they're they overwhelm themselves so much that they don't just focus on those main parts that you can sort out as well.
There's heaps of people out there like that, bro. It's pretty like, heaps of people say sheep, blah, 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 blah. But at the end of the day, man, you can't blame your situation or your surroundings at all. Brings it back to the point that we made last week, escaping the matrix, so to speak. But what you do have control of is yourself, so to speak. So, being able to dial into, whatever we want to dial into. Your training, you dial into your nutrition, you can dial into your knowledge, whatever skills you're trying to build for yourself. And, that's how you can ultimately take control of your life.
I hear it in people's language when they speak to me, even when they message me about how they're doing it tough, and I don't know. I can feel, and I check them up on how they're speaking as well because I always find that super important. If you're gonna speak in that sort of negative tone, and it's sort of excuse making, but I sort of try and
Redirect it.
Yeah, I've always been big on that. Not cause whatever you speak about sort of is your next thoughts. So I just try and help them with that. Like that's the first thing you need to keep in check.
It's it's a constant thing too, bro. Like we always say, you're always gonna have a battle with the with the mind. The mind likes to play a lot of tricks. But like you said, man, if you've got someone like yourself who's very good at coaching and very good at holding people accountable, that makes sense to hold the words that we say accountable as well.
Because the things that you can control, like what we got written down here, train, like you don't need anything to be able to train. Like walking is training.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it depends on how you do it too, bro. Like, if you're sick, if you're feeling tired, then you go for a slow walk. If you feel like, going hard, then go for a brisker walk. It's not fucking rocket science, man. I think the problem today is there's too much confusion out there. Like there's too many guys saying this is the wrong way, this is the right way. At the end of the day, whatever works for you works for you.
Yeah, there's like an overload of information, right?
Yeah, man. Fucking way too much. You need to follow this diet. And I sort of think that's, that's why we do well, because we're very basic. We don't like to overload information, and we just keep to, 1, 2, 3 things and just dial in and keep doing them.
Yeah, especially when you have 2 different doctors that are arguing the different things. Like, what chance do we have of fucking putting up a good argument about that? Like, I just don't give a fuck, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
you got to get to that point, bro. Like, you build up that fucking, like what we're talking about, you build up that mental resilience when it comes to this game that we're in. And most times, man, there's a lot of people out there that spend so much time trying to gather knowledge, but we're just applying it, faster than them and learning on the roll, which has, been a real good learning for me as an individual this year.
When people are giving out information, do you just like look at them first and then see?
100%. Like
especially training.
Like you know what? I learned something from. Fuck, I don't even know what this cat's name is, but I do it for myself, bro. Like when I'm doing some of my videos, when I'm sort of shoot and capture, I like to watch myself just without the audio on, and I do the same thing with just people, bro. I mute it and I just watch them, and I'm like, bro, this guy's a fucking fraud most times, bro. And I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but if you can just remove all the sounds and you look at people and the way they move, the things that they do, you can sort of figure out whether they're talking bullshit or not.
Like the Liver King.
Yeah. Hey, Liver King here. And I'm like, bro, mute, watch him. And then you're like, man, this guy's on motherfucking steroids.
Do you think like you deserve to get scammed if you do think he's natural? Or like, okay, if I buy that supplement, I'm going to look like him.
It's a hard one.
Don't you think like, bro, that's your own fault. I feel like you should learn your lesson, but the hard way.
But there's like, fuck, I don't know, man. Like I feel like Australians and Kiwis, I think we've got a real good level of common sense. But there's some gullible humans out there, bro.
There is. Like,
I don't know, man. Like, I think Americans have a trait of, like, believing everything that one person would say.
Fuck, some people fucking piss me off when they message me sometimes. This guy was talking to me about some type of training, and he was like, oh, yeah, I'm focusing on this first. And I'm like, but why? Like, why is this so... Oh, it's because I saw it from this guy and something clicked in his head that he thought he needed to do that first with just like no foundation or anything to go on.
Okay.
I was like, bro, that is like, I think we come across it a lot. People just got no fucking idea, eh?
Yeah.
Right?
People just don't have an idea. They actually don't know what to follow, bro.
Professional athletes actually don't have no idea.
They've got fucking no clue. I had no clue, bro.
Yeah, neither. I had no clue, so...
And we still don't have any clues, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But at least we fucking are honest about it, where we know our boundary.
Exactly.
Our boundaries as well.
Yeah, that's a good point too, man. I think there's a lot of people out there that just don't have a fucking clue what they're watching, what they're hearing, and they're just like, oh, I'm going to believe everything this guy says. But then, like he brings back to the Liver King point, bro. Like, he's a liar. A lot of young people out there, out in the world, are probably watching that and going, oh my God, I've been following this guy for 6 months to a year, eating balls and liver, and I thought I'd look like that, and no wonder why I'm still skinny and this. That,
he was entertaining. That's like I used to follow him. I thought he was entertaining, like that whole ancestral. He had a good message, but now he's fucked it up.
Yeah, that's it. And it's sort of like
I think he might still be fine though, because he's just gotten so big that it doesn't even fucking matter. Like that's why it's so enticing for people to lie these days.
Yeah,
there's heaps of influencers that are on the roids and they sell diet plans and
there's heaps out there, bro,
and heaps of shit business coaches too.
Yeah. Come, hey, how are you, mate? Yeah, I'm good, mate. How are you? Can I help you with your business? You can get the fuck out of my face.
Yeah, there's questions you can ask people too. I don't know if the fuck, I think I've been over this, but don't worry about the business side. But definitely, how would you stop, not stop it, but I'm saying help people out to get away from those like false, like charlatans?
Bro, it's just the questions, you know.
It's knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have to be a little bit educated on
That's
things.
it. That's it. Like for me, I'd be asking them questions. You know, what sort of level of training have they ever been experienced to, or ever been exposed to? Like, it brings me back to when I was working at F45. Like, it's quick. You find out pretty fast how much experience someone has by asking them what gyms have they trained at. You know, a person that trains at Anytime Fitness and F45s only have exposure to that life. But a person who's been playing sport for their life, or they've had, you know, strength and conditioning coaches, or have had that little bit of experience, obviously a little bit more up in the par when it comes to black belts and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
So they need a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
And I think the person has the right to ask a few questions like, oh, yeah, who have you coached before and how long have you been?
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can figure out people pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And even though if a coach has been coaching for 5 to 10 years, still doesn't mean they're good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a doctor or a physio and a chiro.
Yep.
You can get shit physios and
bro.
chiros and doctors that are worked.
They're
GPs are shit. Like,
they're everywhere, bro.
yeah.
You know,
So just because they have that title or they have that certificate doesn't mean jack shit.
doesn't mean anything.
I reckon.
And it's like that's a pretty good point, bro. Because
Fuck, we've just gone total left
field, bro.
Oh, well.
Because you got to remember, man. Like, you know, the first question I always ask someone when someone DMs me is, you know, have you seen a physio? Have you seen a doctor for your knees? And they always say yes. And I'm like, you know, what worked for them and what didn't work for you? And then sometimes they send a program and I look at it, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I'm just like, it feels like they've just put this out to these guys to get them back to normal. Where I'm like, from a place where I want to get you back further than that. You always want to get back better. And you know, it doesn't make sense to me because, you know, a lot of the people that we're listening to, not only influencers, but I'm not going to say it, in the medical realm, like, they don't have the experience yet. And, you know, I'm not trying to say that I'm fucking the be all and end all, but I think experience counts a lot in this game too.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
Yeah, even like the surgeons, sometimes we deal with people where they get shoulder surgery and they say no training for fucking like 2 months.
I know, bro.
What? And like, no gym, no, nothing.
You can't go anywhere, bro.
Not even legs. You can't do anything. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. No, I learned that out pretty fast, bro. Training up in Redcliffe. I thought that too as a youngin'. And then my strength and conditioning coach is probably one of the best ones I've ever had, Tony Guilfoyle. He's just like, just because your right arm's fucked doesn't mean your left arm can't do anything. And I just started training on left, and that just changed that whole aspect. Once again, brings you back to like having that experience.
Yeah, with footy, if your upper's injured, train the lower, vice versa. Yeah, I've learned that. Yeah, even when I get injured myself these days, or calves or thing, you can still do upper.
Still do heaps of stuff, bro. That's self mastery, bro. That brings you back to like the points that we're trying to make. The first thing was fucking training, you know, and being able to understand that even if you're sick, even if you're injured, there's always something that you can do. You just got to be able to scale it and then work your way back to what you believe is your 100%.
Yeah, and then that leads into nutrition, like what you're putting in your body. If you put shit in, then, you know, I had a few beers in the weekend and I felt like shit. It wasn't like an all-nighter, but I got over it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
We just did a lunchtime to
Yep.
home by 6, 7.
Yep.
You know, just a few beers, but I hadn't drunk in ages, so a few schooners.
How was it? How was it, bro? It
was all right.
Different to have beers?
Yeah, I feel real bloated.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck.
I've done this in a while.
Yeah. But I was interested in how my body would react.
Yeah.
Yeah, normal. Felt a little bit sick.
Yep.
When I got home. But yeah, just drink some water and
yeah.
I'm glad I didn't do those 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Then the next day. I was fine by the next day. So hectic. I think that helps when you're a bit older too.
Yeah, man. It does. It always helps.
Can't recover like you used to.
Especially when you're dad and you got responsibilities.
Yeah, so that was cool. Catch up with some of the boys and speak about they all do sort of well with their lives and that. But I think everyone goes through the same sort of struggles these days. Yeah. You know? Especially our age in our 30s. I think we wanted to talk about like what we do have in our control, even when, I don't know, supposedly at the moment, like I have a lot of clients where interest rates are fucking skyrocketing. They're having to finish up a few things. They're paying an extra $1 to $2 grand a month.
It's the time of the year.
Yeah, time of the year. It's Christmas, you know, and I feel like when all those things are out of your control, then you can focus on something that is in your control, like your training, and nutrition. You know, you can always have that in your own control when everything else is just getting out of whack. Whereas sometimes you might fuck a few beers, might just take that little edge off things.
Yeah, exactly. Brings it back to like I ended up flying up to Queensland and I had this really good conversation. He was a mortgage broker and he was my Uber driver. And I asked him, I was like, why are you doing this? He's like, bro, you've seen all the prices inflate. He's just like, I'm just doing this for the extra cash.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, how do you find the time? And he's like, bro, I got a family. He just brings us back, bro, to the main point. If you don't think that you're capable, then I'll just believe that you need to have a reassessment and just actually look at what you're spending your time on, like we said last week. And then if you need to, man, go and work another job. Do what needs to be done in order for you to free yourself up. That process of getting more work done for yourself so you can find freedom. I feel like a lot of people are scared of it.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely when like $1,000 to $2,000 extra a month, bro. That's huge. Like you're saying, there was working extra 2 days.
2 days.
The system's fucked, ain't it?
Yeah, bro.
Did you hear the guy who said that the interest rates they weren't going to put them up? So everyone didn't fix their mortgage at that rate, that good rate, and then they fucking skyrocketed, bro, and it fucked a lot of people. I reckon that's so fucking bullshit. And the cunt's just in front getting asked these questions and just saying, I'm sorry. But he's like fucked heaps of people, bro. That's wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sad as.
And the bank's just sweet as.
They're always going to
Everyone's sweet, government's sweet, banks are sweet.
Just everyone else.
And everyone gets fucked, bro. How does that work, bro? It's just...
I don't know, bro.
Got to escape the matrix.
That's it, cuz.
But I feel like, I got a lot of people, deal with a lot of men who just working those big hours,
Yep.
And just having that resilient body, I don't want these guys who can't put their socks on.
Yep.
Who sneeze and their back goes out like that.
Fuck, that sounds bad, bro.
That sounds bad, bro. But this is what some men's bodies are like as they're getting older. So how's that going to affect everything else you're doing in life? And then
that's a good point,
and then
bro.
you get hit with a mortgage increase of $1,000. Like, fuck, you're going in the hole.
Yeah, bro.
At a quick rate.
That's a fucking good point, bro.
You got all these things. Fuck, your body's fucked. Your finances are getting fucked, and you're working 12 to 16-hour days.
Yeah, do you feel like during those times there's a lot of people that want to stop, bro? Do you reckon that's like I wouldn't still call it an excuse, more like...
I feel like they're sort of trapped.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point,
how
bro.
are you supposed to get out of that?
Yeah. Fuck.
And I think there's a lot of people going through that, and I don't have a fucking good answer to, but I just think it's just calling it what it is. It's fucking shit for people to go through.
Yeah, just got to sort of ride it a little bit, eh? Go hard and sort of knuckle down for a bit. Which brings me back to what I wanted to say, bro. Like resilience, being resilient. I feel like now understanding this year a little bit more is doing the same boring shit every day. Whether it's working, whether it's the habits that you've built for yourself, whether it's you're working towards a goal, whatever that goal is, just continuously keep doing it, regardless of whatever's going on, bro. Because I feel like when something tries to trap you, that's when a lot of people like, oh my God, pull on the handbrake. When really, I believe now, just from what we've been doing, if you just keep at it, the sky will fucking clear, bro. The tunnel will fucking end.
Yeah, you'll get out the other side.
That's it.
It's going to be a hard journey for some people during these times, but just don't let your health go down the tube as well, because that's one thing that you have.
Fuck yeah, bro. That's the main one, man. A lot of people have all these problems until something comes along and slaps them out of it. Or you've got this, you've got that, or you haven't got that much time to live. If it makes sense, everyone's dying at the end of the day.
100%. That was a bit of a random episode, but
loved it, bro.
Shot, bro.
Good chat.
Chat.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, they call me a savage. I'm putting in work. I hustle and grind, I put in the time, get what I deserve. Savage.